All right, so let's continue to this now. Higher Education Minister Professor Blade Nzimande has urged companies in both the private and the public sector to use the SETA grants prudently to strengthen learning and training and not misuse the funds. The minister was speaking at the two-day 2024 SETA Skills Summit that's taking place in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni. Now, the 21 SETAs also launched the integrated high-impact programs, which aim to highlight priority areas for postgraduate and service training. The 6 key high-impact programs are geared towards addressing high unemployment in the country.
It's kind that you have this type of a SETA summit. Previously, it was only focused on the SETAs. This time around, it's more of an integrated approach with industry role players and, of course, the various stakeholders, the various leaders within the SETA sector. Of course, this aimed at Vision 2030. The Minister of Higher Education, Professor Blade Nzimande, who delivered the keynote address, joins me right now. Minister, thank you so much for joining us. Much important gathering, in particular when we take into consideration the role that needs to be played to give young people, the youth, a footing into, I think, the working space.
Yes, it is a very important gathering because also, amongst other things, this gathering will reflect on the journey traveled by SETAs, especially over the last 5 years, and then look at how to take forward some of the work that they've been doing by focusing on 6 high-impact programs that are aimed at really going a long way in preparing our young people for jobs as well as for entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial roles, including SMMEs and cooperatives. But what is important is that there are 21 SETAs, each focusing in an economic sector in our country. But there are things that brings them together, even if they are operating as the different SETAs. Of course, they'll continue to focus on their sectors, but there are common things like the 6 that they've identified. The one is the need for training infrastructure in the country. They will need to work together if we were to make an impact on that, just by way of example. The second one, of course, is entrepreneurship, as I have actually pointed out, that they are actually looking at. The other area which they are focusing on, which is very important, is rural development. Because one of the key challenges we have is to make sure that skills are provided not only in the urban areas but also in the rural areas, including agricultural skills, for instance, so that people in the rural areas can acquire skill and still be able to stay there. No matter what country you have to eat. And food is produced through agriculture, so it's something that is very important. The other area of cooperation is in the area of ICT. To give listeners and viewers just a concrete example, we still do not have a good enough system to monitor attendance of those who are attending the various skills programs of the SETAs. Ideally for me, I should be in my office, be sitting down and be able to press a button and check which programs are taking place from each SETA or from all the SETAs. Have the students registered to actually go in? How many are attending as opposed to the total? That will also improve the capacity of the SETAs, by the way, to monitor the students who are not attending and also identify the dropouts if there are any. But most importantly, to eliminate double dipping or even triple dipping. You find the same student is attending 3 different SETA programs at the same time, which should actually not be the case, because you should be attending one SETA program at a particular time. So these are some of the things that are common. Of course, the other matter that is of common interest is relationship with employers as well as the production of artisans for many of the SETAs, may not be all of them. but artisan training is very important. Even some of the SETAs which you might think have got very little to do, like the education training and developing practices SETA, which is ETDP. But it produced teachers and instructors who must be able to offer programs for TVET college lecturers such that they are able to produce better trained artisans. So I'm really looking forward to the outcome of this summit, because the SETAs have never really gotten together, as we say, in this form to discuss these kinds of issues.